Hey you guys, it's Mimsy here, and I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what I'm doing on my fireplace wall. So you've been watching my time-lapse, and originally I had all that wood over all this because when we moved in here 10 years ago it had just all this, you know, the brick and then all that 70s paneling that was done in a diagonal pattern, which at the time I hated. So I decided just to cover it up. I thought that was the easiest thing, so I just bought all those 1x4s and did, like, you know, my version of shiplap back then. So we've lived with that for 10 years. But I'm finally redoing it because I want it to be narrower and taller because we've got such low ceilings that this wide look like this obviously just makes it look lower. So I'm trying to narrow this up to probably about here. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work yet, but I want to narrow it up to about here and take the brick from the sides and bring it all the way to the ceiling, and then I'm going to paint it and trim it out one way or another. I'm not really sure which way, but that's the plan for this area. So obviously I've got to take down the rest of the brick, drywall this all up. I'm not really sure how that's going to go either because I've got paneling on the walls and paneling all the way this way, so it's super thin, 1/8 of an inch paneling, so I might have to take all of that off, I guess is probably what I'm going to have to do, and just put drywall over that whole thing and there too. So anyway, that's the plan. Hey y'all, it's Mimsy, and I'm still working on my fireplace renovation. As you can see behind me, I've made quite a bit of progress. I did not do a time lapse of putting it back together and covering over all of the studs and everything because it was slow going. I worked on some on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, and a little bit on Monday night. It was totally dark, so I didn't time lapse any of that. But anyway, I just covered it all up with underlayment, plywood, thin plywood that's generally used for underlayment. It's sold at Home Depot for like 13 bucks. So I just used that because the rest of the walls were this paneling, and I needed to match up the same depth of this paneling because I'm going to go over all this from the sides all the way over to match up to my kitchen with shiplap, which I'm going to cut from this same plywood. So today I'm finally getting to the fun part, and that's creating the mantle and decorative pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and video that, and so I'll show that to you. So today I'm putting on the kind of mantle, I guess you'd call it. It's not really going to be a mantle because it's only about 2 inches wide, so it's not big enough to put anything on or anything, but I'm just going to trim out this inside edge and then put a couple more pieces of trim right on the edge here. Anyway, so I've cut all my pieces and I'm dry fitting them, just taping them in there. And I don't know how this happens. Don't know why. I need to get with the trim carpenter and get some training because I work so hard to do this perfectly and this is what happens. I don't understand. So here is the fireplace, and actually I just set that canvas up there for size to see what size I wanted to do my art up there. And I think that's a little too big, but anyway. So here we are. I have the fireplace all repaneled, and this whole wall up to the kitchen, which the kitchen has the same shiplap type paneling. I'll show you over here. Same thing, but this is done in 6-inch slats, and I didn't want to go that narrow in the rest of my family room because it's just too narrow. My ceilings are so low, and I think the narrower you do them, I wanted to just try to elevate the ceiling height a little bit visually. So I considered doing them in 8-inch laps because I don't know why, I just originally was thinking that. But then, because this area here in my kitchen has the shiplap too, and then it would join over here. I didn't want to do 8-inch. I didn't want to have 6-inch here and then 8-inch over here. So I thought, well, let me just double it up. And I went ahead and did 12 inches all the way around. So here's the fireplace. And if you remember, the fireplace had brick up to about 5 feet, weird 70s brick. And so I just took most of the brick off except for right here, and then basically covered it up. I built a kind of a frame and then covered it up with the plywood, and then just built out this little mantle here, which I won't have anything sitting on it. The art will hang there. And then eventually I think I'd like to have a pair of sconces on either side. So there's more. The corners were difficult, and I was able to reuse the ceiling trim, and then most of the door trim I was able to reuse. So that's good. I didn't have to buy all that, nor did I have to cut all those compound miter cuts. So that was my main purpose for saving that trim. I still have to buy trim for all there, so 16 feet of trim there, and then I need to get trim for that set of double doors over there because I didn't have enough. I mean, some of it got ruined as I was taking it down, so I went to the Home Depot to get more trim, and they don't have this profile anymore because this trim is probably from the 60s, 70s, you know. So they don't have that profile anymore, so and neither did Lowe's. So I'm gonna have to I used what I had and moved it all over to this door, and then that door I'll have to replace all of that trim there. So there you have it. Now I'm going to just do a little bit more caulking and wood filling here and there, get that last piece of trim, and then I will start painting. And for now I'm just gonna paint it white because I've got some nice white paint, and that's where I'm at today. Hey you guys, it's Mimsy. I'm finally doing this final finish on this video showing my fireplace all done. So it's finally complete, other than the 2 sconces that I'm going to put one here and one over there. I'll get to that eventually, but I just wanted to give you a quick final reveal of my fireplace after that long time lapse and long time it took me. I finished it up the weekend of Labor Day, and here we are, September 25th, and I'm finally finishing up this video. So I'm going to turn it around and kind of give you a whole view of it. So it's late afternoon, so it's a little bit dark in here, but you kind of get the idea. So here it is. The shiplap, just a real simple crown molding. This part here was the part that I had to redo, and then this side over here is the part that there was that little crown molding already there, and I just reused that same molding that was there. I painted it a color called Swan Wing. I used it in a previous project, and I just love it, and I still love it. I wasn't sure I was going to like it in this space as well, but I do. I love it. And so I had, and I don't think I ever addressed this in the in my blog post or the video previously, but one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this project was because I had a leak in my roof right around the fireplace, or up in the fireplace, and it made a huge hole in the ceiling right here. Well, not a huge hole, but a huge rotten spot in the drywall there that desperately needed repair. And so the morning that I decided to start this project, that was one of the things that made me really want to tackle it, is because that ceiling was all rotten. And then I did have a few spots above the doors where water had come in at the right along the above the doors. And so the paneling above the doors, there were a few spots above the doors that were really bad. So anyway, I took the shiplap all the way onto this wall, you know, above the doorway, and all the way over into that corner there. So that's it. It's almost complete. And when I put the sconces in, I think what I'll do is I'll run the electrical from these two can lights or eyeball lights and just eliminate those altogether because they're ugly, and use that power there, and that way they'll be operated by the switch as well. So that's it. There's the finished product. I have that blog post up about it with a little bit more information if you'd like to take a look at that. It does have some more information, but otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and any other projects that I do, I will, you'll get those. So that's it. If you have any questions, comment below, and or comment on my blog post, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. It's Mimsy at mimsyandcompany.com. See you next time, y'all. Bye.